Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review for Call of the Night, episode 2. And episode 2, I would say that it was another really good episode. Not only showcases just, once again, showcasing the outstanding, beautiful visuals of the background. Once again, like with the purple, the yellow backgrounds of the night, you know, and once again, visually beautiful. I think that's... I would have to be repeating that every single video because it is still visually beautiful, but probably gonna have to keep on saying that because it keeps getting more. Well, it was the same thing, but still visually stunning to look at, though. But our two characters have progressed more in the previous episode because I think that the first episode just to showcase the lovely style of the visuals, right? Well, here we hear more of our characters are developing between Ko and Nuzuka. Her name again, Nazuna, and I thought these two are. I think this is gonna be a slow burn love story because although the Ko Yamari, but I'll just call him Ko for short then for his first name. If he wants to become a vampire, he has to fall in love with her, and more, this just show how our character Nazuna is so erotic in a lot of things because she was always telling like just all these erotic jokes, but at the same time when something that's like lovey-dovey stuff, you know, mentioning, she gets all embarrassed, right? And it was just very fun between Nazuna and Ko. So, like just when how Ko wants to go on a night, that's how he's looking for her, right? And saying how when she finally finds her, she's all been out feeding and all that stuff, though, which that kind of shows case like how he got a little bit jealous and slightly a bit mad because considering that, you know, that he probably just wanted her to feed off nobody but him, right? Because even she admitted later in a little bit, she admitted that, so you know what, that wasn't true. I was actually looking for you because your blood is much more tastier than all the ones I ever tasted before. Because be honest, that she's probably been around for a long time, probably a couple hundred years maybe. She probably has sucked blood from quite a few people, right? But to her, his blood was much more tastier than usual, so that's why he got a little bit jealous and all this of it, and how saying that she was looking for her, she was looking for him the whole time. So, but the thing is, like, you can feed off me all you want, though, right? And the thing is, when when he was sleeping in her apartment again, you know, she was getting all these erotic jokes and mentioning of this thing, right? Of mentioning of this about what she calls, you know, of couple, which they say coupling, right? And he's like, okay. That's what I thought. She's just very, you know, very erotic. And the thing is, when he wants to fall in love with her, you know, she's getting a little bit embarrassed, right? So she's just basically just an immature kid because, yeah, despite being an immoral vampire, her body is still. She's still a child. Her body is of a teenage child. So, but she still acts immaturely sometimes. So, and the thing is, like I said, it's gonna be a slow burn relationship because of him finally to admit to say that I love you. You know, you think I would expect to see that in this episode, but no. It turns out it's gonna be just you know, it's just him naturally reacting, you know, how he wants to develop his feelings towards her, right? You know, first of all, starting out as friends, and then first calling her Nuzana-chan, or so like, hey, but then she goes like, hey, call me Nuza-san, right? You know, it's san instead of chan. So this is why I start out being as friends, but then eventually, when later on, hopefully he'll say that I love you, then he wants to become a vampire. And more on the funny things, you know, that how he wants to you know, how he could trade contact info, you know, since she doesn't have a cell phone. Well, the thing is, what I find kind of funny because she says she has a cellular phone, right? But it's one of those old ones, one of those really big old cellular phones. Like I'm like, I remember those. You know, just the last time I haven't seen one of those since what? Since Wall Street. You know, the 80s movie Wall Street with Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen. I mean, like I haven't seen one of those big cellular phones since Wall Street, probably. Yeah, those big old-fashioned cellular phones. Yeah, that is just a few decades out of date, you know, I should say. But I thought that was kind of fun. I was like, oh, I haven't seen a phone like that since the movie Wall Street. and then a funny way that where where Ko, it gives her like it's like these walkie-talkie wristwatches, right? You communicate with within a certain like 150 meters. It says Ko said it's like walkie-talkie wristwatches, right? And he gives like this little story that when like a few years ago, well, like when he was little, that he had one, he had another, right? But since he didn't have that many friends, he left one out, I guess where the mailboxes are. And so hopefully when someone picks it up, he can try to communicate with it, right? And when he goes back to it, it was gone. So maybe he was hoping one day he'll eventually run to that one person who has that one wristwatch. But then he has another said pair to give one to Nezuna to communicate with. And like I said, more shows how like she's just a kid, right? Basically, it's like, hey, she's talking on the other end, saying that, hey, our enemies in sight. Now let's take this guy out, you know. And there's things that they're having a good time talking to each other on these walkie-talkie wristwatches. And you get a moment where she picks him up, flies out in the night, once again showing the nice, beautiful landscape. And then eventually, afterwards, when he's walking by himself, he's wearing two wristwatches, one to communicate with Nezuna, then the old one that they had back then, right? And then all of a sudden, the old one that he still wears, it chimes in, and then all of a sudden, this girl goes to school with him, shows up right behind him. So it's assumed that she's the one who took the wristwatch from back then. And then eventually, I guess she knows him, and that I guess maybe this is going to start probably maybe a love triangle, or the fact that he's just later on Ko's is building more friends, right? Because since he's always been a loner, he has basically no friends. Especially when we saw in the first episode, he turned down a love confession. He turned down a love confession. So maybe this girl will find out soon about her in the next episode, because it ends just with her saying, "Hey, Ko," or Yamare, and I guess she's the one who took that one communicator, right? So this episode was pretty good, more characters, and also meant to mention, there wasn't hardly any characters we saw in the first episode or the second episode. This is basically the focusing just the two of them, right? I mean, in this episode we've got another brief appearance by those three drunk guys at the bus stop from the first episode, and then the girl at the end, right? But other than that, though, the first two episodes is mainly just Ko and Nezuna, right? So. But the thing is, I think it's like, okay, so far it's always been limited to these two, but it's not that bad though. But because we're having fun with the chemistry between these two, And but we'll get more. Maybe with that one girl, maybe Ko will gain more friends, or maybe it's gonna be probably like a love triangle. Who knows? We'll have to wait to the next episode though. But this episode was pretty funny, like I said, how just Nezuna, she's just, she gets embarrassed by the lovey-dovey stuff, right? But the thing is, she's just immature, and the thing is that she's also erotic at the same time, talking about saying these lewd jokes, about coupling, especially her just doing this. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny, but it's just like she's just an immature, few centuries old kid, right? So, and instead of mention having probably an old 80s cellular phone, that, like I said, I haven't seen since Wall Street. But Ko and their chemistry between these two are very so far very decent. You know, I'm having fun with these characters, and once again showcasing the beautiful landscape of the backgrounds. Like I said, with the pink, purples, and the yellow. You know, really showcasing. And I think that's how it's going to be more. This series should be just only be in the nighttime. You know. Maybe there'll be maybe a few seconds or so showcase in the daytime, but it's gonna. I got like the first episode got a glimpse or so at the daytime. It's all very gray and washed out, you know, basically. But when it comes to nighttime, it's just visually stunning, you know. So that's gonna be the big positive thing throughout this whole series, you know, is the visual style of the background, you know. That's gonna continue on for the rest of the series. So, but the relationship so far, the slow burn relationship that's gonna lead for Ko, you know, say I love you, you know, and then eventually he'll get his wish to become a vampire. So. But it's gonna be a slow burn one, so it's not gonna happen right away. Although it would be surprising, it would be surprising if it happens like what the next few episodes. So, but I don't know. It's just gonna be that's an assumption. So, but anyway, but Call of the Night episode 2 was very so far another very decent episode, you know, and I'm looking forward to the next one, you know. And so the next episode, which I'll be very excited to talk about, is the return of what I've been saying, the return of A Devil's a Part-Timer Season 2. That's gonna be the next one. I'm being very excited to talk about. And after seeing that episode, I was like, "This, yes, our favorite characters are back, and King Satan is still all the characters are still the same, and it's very fun chemistry, banter, or whatever." With Satan, Emiusa, Asiel, Urushihara, Lucifer, you can say, or Chi, Susanoo, all of our great characters I've enjoyed. So that's gonna be the next, and I'm very excited to be talking about it. But as for episode 2 of Call of the Night, decent enough, very very decent enough, and we'll look forward to seeing more. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the first episode of Devil's a Part-Timer Season 2. See you in the next video.